Hey guys, okay, I wanted to tell you a cool story. So today we are in the city of Santo Domingo de la Calzada. I'm going to tell you a story about Santo Domingo. So around the year 1000, there was a young man named Dominic, or Domingo at the time, and he wanted to join the Benedictines and become a monk, but he was illiterate, and so they would not allow him to join. And so that worked out really well for Christendom, because what happened was, also around that time, there was a plague of locusts that came along and ate up a lot of the food, and people were suffering and things were very hard. And so because of that, Santo Domingo decided that he would dedicate his life, instead of being a monk, to helping these people. And along the way, as a young man, he learned how to build bridges, how to build roads, and things like this. And so throughout his life, the Lord was showing him that what he really was supposed to do was to help the pilgrims that were walking along the Camino de Santiago, because there were lots of places you had to go over rivers and there weren't bridges and things like that. And so he started building these things. So I wanted to show you the cathedral that is built to him. This is actually the tower, if you can see that. Can't see my head anymore, but there we go. And we're standing right next to the cathedral where he is buried. But there's a really cool story. About 300 years after he passed away, we know that he was in heaven and he was praying for people. And the story goes, there's a cool legend that there was a German family that was walking the Camino de Santiago, and they got here to this area, to Santo Domingo de Calzada, and they stayed with a farmer family. And the farmer had a teenage daughter, and she was making some advances toward their teenage son. But he said, no, I don't, that's not the kind of guy that I am. And so he turned her down. Well, it made her mad. So what she did was she hid a golden goblet in his bag and then accused him of theft. And so he was caught and he was hung for what he did. And so his family was distraught, but they continued on to Santiago. He came back and he was miraculously still hanging alive, because Santo Domingo had prayed for him and had held him up the whole time. So they went running to the magistrate and they said, please cut our son down, he's still alive and it's a miracle and this shows that he's innocent. And the magistrate said, that young man is no more alive than this chicken and this rooster that is on the plate that I'm about to eat. And at that moment, the chicken and the rooster stood up alive and started running around the table. And that is when they were so shocked, and they went and they cut him down and he was saved. So that's the story. But because of that, this cathedral actually keeps, and this is not the cathedral itself, this is just the tower next to it, they keep live chickens inside the cathedral. It is the only cathedral in the world that has live animals inside of it, and they have lived in it since the 1300s. And so it's an amazing story, and we can all take something from Saint Dominic, whether you embrace that story or not. This was a man who dedicated his life to helping the poor, to helping the downtrodden, and for helping people that were going along this path to try to discover God's will for their life, and to pray along the way. It's really a 500-mile prayer walk is really what it is. And no matter what tradition you come from, even if you're not Christian, I think we could all agree that we could use a lot more of that in our life. So anyway, that's the amazing story of Santo Domingo de la Calzada, and I hope that you guys will come and visit it someday. Have a great day. Buen camino.